I don't run this far on my holidays.
Oh, no. Dressed like sporting champions, we are on working week this week.
We're going to be taking a look at a new scheme that's helping people to find a job through football.
We're looking on the internet for apprenticeships, then from the apprenticeships we go straight into work from the company, so it's looking great, yeah.
Well, we'll be playing football for most of this week's show.
But we will take a few breaks because, Des, remember the success of Billy No Mates, the chicken that thought he was a human being, my favourite story. Well, we seem to have started something because we'll be taking a look at the wider business of keeping hens for pets.
They're great for children, they give them responsibility, learning where the food comes from, and it's fantastic to see the little faces when they're collecting the eggs. I think it's a slice of the good life. There's something very calming at the end of a very busy day, sitting in your back garden with a cup of tea or a glass of wine and watching your chickens pecking around, talking to each other. They've all got their own little personalities.
All that and the thoughts of the business genius that is Richard Baker.
You land in Shanghai and you go to Ningbo, you have to cross marshland, you have to cross an estuary, you have to go across mountains. So what do? They build a straight road across the whole lot.
Hello, I'm Rob Pittham.
And I'm Des Coleman. Now, our first game is all about football. And,
Our first game, our first story.
Our first
You've
story.
got football on the brain.
Football on the brain. But we're going to get stuck in, aren't
Let's
we,
get
mate?
stuck in, probably the best thing.
Yeah.
See you later. A bunch of people playing football, and it's not the sort of thing Des and I can resist. Anyone who's ever played with me will recognise that ineffectual tackle. But Des's goal scoring was as eye-catching as his shorts. It's a lot of fun, but our teammates have a bigger goal in mind. They're all after a job. The youngsters are on a scheme run by Street League, a charity which takes on people in Nottingham between 16 to 25 who are out of work and aren't in training or at college. As well as playing football, they're taught employability skills and they do English and maths courses and first aid too.
What we basically do is we sit down with them and we try to work out a career path for them. So whether it's going back to college, training or education, whether it's work, it really depends on what they want. So if, for example, they say, oh, you know, I'm looking at a career in coaching, we look at a development path for that and try to get them into that kind of workplace. So we're ideally looking to get them into something that they want to do, not just any kind of work.
And these are kids who I guess up till now have kind of fallen through the nets, haven't they?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, a lot of them might have come out of school or come out of university, but the majority of the people that we work with are people who have come from, you know, areas that are underprivileged and haven't had the opportunities in life and may have had bad experiences in life. So we're just a way for them to have a second chance in life.
The course has a high success rate. More than 80% of people on it go on to a job or training or higher education.
It's fantastic to come off the streets, to get involved on the pitch, making friends, learning how to be employable with your CVs, and yeah, it's amazing.
You reckon it'll help you to get a job?
Yeah, definitely.
What kind of job are you looking for?
Anything really, but gardening, I specialise in gardening. I've got horticultural certificates in landscaping and everything. So
how come you struggle to get a job? I know it's a rude question, but people always ask, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know, I've handed out hundreds of CVs, application form after application form, and never seem to get nowhere.
Others were lured onto the course by turning up for a game of football at the regular sessions open to anyone at the Forest Field site.
I got involved with this through playing football in my local area, playing five-a-side football on a Forest Field, AstroTurf pitches, speaking to the people that organise it, Courtney and Tarrant, got involved.
And you were looking for work then, were you? What was your situation?
Yeah, I was unemployed, signed on at the job centre, so I didn't really have a lot going on. I got sports in my background, so I want to carry on with my sports. So when they told me about the opportunities they give, it seemed perfect for me, to be fair.
So what do you get out of this and what does it do for you?
Well, it gives you a chance to get involved with other people. I've met loads of new people I might not have met before, so we're all across the city, so I've made loads of new friends. You know, the employability skills, it's been a while since I've been in work, so doing interviews and stuff ain't really my thing, but they're helping me brush up on that writing, language, posture, everything. It's just really good. The skills you take away and the experience itself is just as good.
For some, it was an easy choice. Samantha Barlow has left college and is looking for a job. Football's already her life. She plays for Notts County Ladies.
I play it even when I'm outside. I was at college before Street League. Now I'm looking for a job, but I decided to take this course because it's football and it's what I do and I love it and that's what I want to be when I'm older. As soon as I leave here, I'll go down South Play and play it. I'm just dedicated to it. It's all I do, nothing else. Socialise with my friends, but most of them are footballers, so that's all we seem to do. And here it's great because we do it every day. We're doing a maths and English, communicating, building skills, working to look for work. So it's all right, everything's coming in together, so it's looking good.
Through the football, is it a way of getting you to maybe do a few courses that you wouldn't normally have done?
Yeah.
Draw you in?
I've done sports coaching at school level 2 at college. I didn't really enjoy that because I prefer to play than coach. But yeah, I do really enjoy it here.
Courses like these run throughout the year and anyone out of work between 16 to 25 can apply to join.
They can go onto the website at www.streetleague.co.uk, and if they're in the Nottingham area they can email myself directly. We also hold football sessions every Tuesday and Friday at Forest Fields, 2:30 till 4:30, completely free. Anyone can come along to that, and it's just a way for us to engage and build up a relationship. And then potentially when our next academy starts, if they're 16 to 25 and looking for something else in life or a second chance, we're more than happy to take them on board.
A young clothing designer with the surname Smith working in Nottingham's Creative Centre. Where have we heard that before?
It's a good size to start off with. You're not jumping too much in the deep end and it's manageable.
They're made from fabric scraps.
Paul Smith didn't benefit from having a group of other young creative people working in the same building, but that's what's happening at Cobden Chambers on Pelham Street.
It's great for the businesses to be able to support each other, give each other advice, because everybody's kind of at a different step on the journey. And working for yourself can be quite sort of lonely at times, so it's really nice to sort of get involved with other people and have a bit of a community going.
The courtyard is used for pop-up events, music and street art, adding to the sense of a venue as well as a shopping experience. And right at the top, another successful startup.
I think the combination of cost, location and availability to the public were 3 big things for us. We were always on that cusp of going from a homebrew style business into something that we wanted to push to a city centre. I think that with the cost of retail spaces or office spaces not even quite high, I think that was prohibitive to us. So having an opportunity here is it's just a massive opportunity for us to grow. And within 6 months, we've already got our first employee. We've managed to gain some extra clients.
A new creative centre and maybe a glimpse of how shopping will look in the future.
You've got phase 2 as well, which is going to be Cobden Place, which is going to be a cafe and restaurant with an independent department store, which you'll actually probably hear in the background the noise of genuine builders sawing and hammering at the moment, which will make a huge difference to the place.
In fact, this unit, which used to be part of the city's lace-making industry, should be ready next month.
We were actually approached by the landlords that run the area because we run another business called Hopkinson down by this train station. And he was kind of really impressed with what we'd done in that building, so he told us about this development and asked us to be part of this as well. And obviously it's an amazing space. It's been derelict for 30 years and it was a really exciting regeneration of an area in Nottingham, so we were very excited to be part of it.
It's about kind of creating a destination for the city, being surrounded by lots of other independent, like-minded businesses. It makes it a lot easier to set something this sort of size up in the city, definitely.
Well, let's take a look at somewhere that's right across the other side of the world right now. China might seem a long way away, but it has a pretty important impact on everything that happens in our business life here in Nottingham. And Richard Baker, who's the business editor of the Nottingham Post, should know you've just come back from a trip to China. Richard, where did you go?
I went to a city called Ningbo, on the other side of the world of course, but it's an important place for Nottingham. The reason for that, China's the holy grail, everybody wants a piece of the action there, fastest growing economy in the world, and it's got cities around every corner. One of those cities is Ningbo, a huge commercial centre, a massive port, and it's a place that Nottingham has had links with which stretch back more than a decade.
And over there, have they actually heard of Nottingham in Ningbo in China?
They have heard of Nottingham. Nottingham's a household name almost over there. The reason for that is the University of Nottingham set up a campus in Ningbo back in 2004. It's been celebrating the 10th anniversary of that investment. The important thing about that campus is the fact that it's helped nurture a relationship between Nottingham and Ningbo as cities, and it turns out that Ningbo is now interested in doing business with Nottingham.
When you talk about investment, how much are we talking about and where's it going to go?
Well, it could be an awful lot of money, it could be a lot of investment, it could be a lot of jobs. We just don't know at this stage because it's very early days in the civic relationship between the two cities. They came over here earlier this year to have a tram bridge named after them. We've now been back over there and in front of Chinese politicians we've heard them say You've got certain industries that you're proud about. We want to hear about those industries because we think that we can do business with them.
I have to say I've been to China as well, and it's a pretty mind-blowing place. What did you make of it as a business journalist?
What strikes me about China is the pace of change, its ambition and its ability to literally get things done. You land in Shanghai and you go to Ningbo, you have to cross marshland, you have to cross an estuary, you have to go across mountains. So what do? They build a straight road across the whole lot.
So you're pretty impressed? You think we could bring any of that back to Nottingham, any of that kind of spirit?
I think there's a real opportunity. They've opened the door to doing business in Nottingham. This is a massive opportunity and it's one we've got to take advantage of.
So when you talk about benefits, what kind of businesses will benefit then?
They've said they're interested in things like bioscience. They've said they're interested in clean technology industries. I think they're also interested in finding out about the way we run our city compared to the way that they run theirs.
Well, that's it for the first half, and I got 2 goals. How about you?
I got 2 goals. I think I'm going to sign me up for England, mate.
You nearly killed yourself getting that second goal, didn't you?
Back into my back desert.
Yeah. I think you've done yourself some damage. Well, in the second half, we'll be taking a look at turning the love of jewellery into a business.
A lot of our watches are from the late 1800s. They come completely blackened, really quite rough. Then we turn them into lovely works of art.
And also how you can turn the love of shopping into a business.
If you don't know what to Google, then how do you find it in the first place? So you're seeing more and more businesses that traditionally would have been online alone starting to have bricks and mortar presence as well.
That's all to come. See you after the half-time interval. Half-time interval, I'm full of them.
Full of them, aren't you, mate?
Welcome back, and we're deep into the second half, and the blue shirts are still winning 3-2.
Only just. But in this half, we'll be looking at a woman who turned the love of jewellery into a business.
I found a very small watch part and I was absolutely fascinated with the intricacy of it. And then we saw another necklace which was completely coated in pocket watch parts, and I thought I can do that better.
We'll be looking at a novel way of teaching students how to run a shop by letting them run a shop.
Ooh, that's novel.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
One of the kind of difficulties that quite often we identify with emerging creatives, especially designer makers, is how to get your first foot on the ladder.
And more stunning insights from
Richard Baker.
Nottingham's got a very big travel to work area where people come in from other parts of the area, other parts of the region to do jobs, so we're not short of talent.
All that to come.
But first, let's meet a Nottingham woman who's got an eye for fine jewellery and she's turning it into a thriving business.
Good for her.
Nice piece, this. Here's a new artistic trend for you. Steampunk is all the rage, a fashion which takes inspiration from the height of the Industrial Revolution and brings it into the modern day. And one young Nottingham artist is turning it into a business. Josie McGilvery is based in Hackspace, a cooperative of artists and craft workers on Alfred Street, but she's got her eyes firmly set on her own chain of shops.
My business, Clockwork Lobster, is a steampunk-inspired jewellery design company. So we make lots of pendants, earrings, rings, cufflinks, all from antique pocket watches and watches. We collect a lot of the watch parts and the pocket watches from different auctions, online, eBay. Get a lot of them from Birmingham, from the Jewellery Quarter. We then bring them down to the studio, grind all the rough edges off, clean them up, make any embellishments that we want to, so each one's unique and personalised. And then we take lots of photographs of them, get a photographer in, the models, do quite a lot of photo shoots, and then we put them all up online. A lot of our watches are from the late 1800s, so they're really, really quite intricate. They come completely blackened, really quite rough, and obviously, hopefully, normally broken. So then we can turn them into lovely works of art. They're all one-offs. This one's made from a mixture of vintage and antique materials. So we've got a vintage brooch that's been incorporated with a pocket watch from the late 1800s. So they've all been cleaned up, all ground down and attached and soldered together. That's available on the website, and also so is this one, which is called the one with the cassette tape. So trying to incorporate new and vintage materials. So obviously you've got a cassette tape, which is a bit retro now anyway, along with the antique pocket watch and a more retro watch at the front as well. And that's a nice brooch. Here's another pendant, which is more of a steel pendant. It's slightly more modern. It's more early 1900s. And we also have something a bit different, which is some hair clips that are made up from the watch faces rather than just the mechanisms themselves. So whatever people ask for, we try to incorporate it and make something different. Everything's new, unique. I've always been interested in jewellery design, fashion design, graphics, sculpture, silversmithing, and on a chance in a vintage shop I found a very small watch part and I was absolutely fascinated with the intricacy of it. And then we saw another necklace which was completely coated in pocket watch parts, and I thought I can do that better. We started the company at the beginning of the year. It was just a matter of seeing if anyone was really quite interested in it. I started making it just for myself, for friends, and I just really liked it for myself, really. But then I got such interest from not just my friends, but colleagues and people I didn't know that were asking if they could make stuff for them. And next thing you know, Clockwork Lobster was born. It's going really well. We've just had an exhibition at Lee Rose's on Broad Street, and we're planning another couple soon before Christmas. I would like to continue doing exhibitions throughout Nottingham because they've got such good feedback from them. Obviously, it'd be amazing to have my own shop or chain of shops, but obviously I'd love to have one in Nottingham. And obviously I'll still keep my online store because that's doing really well.
Now, I have to declare an interest. I'm one of around 750,000 people in the UK who do keep chickens in the back garden, and of course you get fresh eggs, and they do make great pets. But if you want to make more than chicken feed out of it as a business, you've got to do your homework.
I wonder if you can just advise me what sort of chickens I need.
Right, okay. Well, it's good news you're keeping them. They make great pets.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, what is the main reason for you keeping chickens? Is it that you want lots of eggs?
Oh, yes. I bake a lot.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so the main priority is a chicken that will produce you lots of eggs, and perhaps all year round?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Therefore, what I would recommend is the commercial hybrid laying hen. Right. They're very easy to look after.
After 30 years in banking, Teresa Benham decided to turn her hobby into a business.
I'd got to a point in my life where I decided I wanted to do something different. I'd done banking and finance for years. I kept chickens myself, and I did find it quite difficult to source information, to find products for them without going online. And so I saw an opportunity to do something I really enjoyed. So I had a trial at it, going to country shows with a basic market stand, having a look what demand there might be, and I found that actually there was a real demand and enthusiasm for chicken keeping in back gardens. So that's really where it started. I decided to take the leap and hand in my notice and rented a unit, and it's just gone from strength to strength. There you go, darling.
From buying in birds to sell to the public, she now breeds them on a farm and sells around 1,500 a year.
In the first year, I had very few customers on a day-to-day basis. Where I was located, which was very close to IKEA, we had a lot of traffic for the feed sales. What I've found with moving to more rural premises, although still in very easy reach of the motorway, is that I'm selling a lot more of the birds and the whole package. So people who don't really know where to start, those people are coming to me for the advice, my free chicken keeping courses, and to find out about the different types of birds available. If you work on the basis that you get about half a dozen eggs per bird per week.
So 12, yeah.
Yeah, and if that's sufficient for you, you're best to not overstock.
4 months ago, she moved from the Amber Trading Estate in Giltbrook to renting land here at the Ravenshead Plant Centre.
The fact that I'm at a garden centre, a lot of people that are interested in chickens also grow their own plants, grow their own veg, and here they sell veg plants, trees, etc. So we do find that the garden centre customers come to myself, and again, my customers will go to the garden centre, and we're in a lovely rural setting here, so it's quite a nice afternoon out for people. Morning, how are you? Yeah, okay.
So Teresa's gone from giving inheritance seminars to chicken keeping courses.
And that will help with the molting. It's also got a probiotic in it and seaweed, so it will give it a really good boost.
You'll be healthier than me.
Ah, yes.
Her attention to detail certainly seems to have impressed her regular customers.
She's always got loads of great advice. She's got all the time in the world for you. And it's never driven by trying to sell you something. She'll tell you what she believes is best for your chickens, and that comes over with her. And I think it's rare to find that nowadays, you know what I mean? So I appreciate things like that. I'm sure a lot of her other customers do as well, you know.
Would you believe this pair are called Simon and Cheryl? It's taken Teresa a lot of work to go from market stalls to creating a business with the X Factor.
A hidden gem, Cobden Chambers is a collection of fresh new designers, many taking their first tentative steps into business and retail.
Everybody appears to be of the same mindset, very creative-minded people, and it's lovely to be surrounded by those sorts of people and those sorts of businesses.
Online's getting very populated. You can set up an online e-commerce site for free or almost free, and it's getting harder and harder for emerging businesses to get visible. So increasingly you're seeing people having bricks and mortar presence, be it pop-up, be it market stalls, to actually try and drive traffic online. So we thought this was a perfect place where we would take the risk, we would sign the lease and get it to a reasonably fit state, and then allow emerging designers, makers, creatives to come and have the first chances to test the product out, see if it's right, see if the price is right, and most importantly to see if they enjoy it as well.
Well, every week it seems we're bringing you stories about businesses growing in Nottingham, firms moving here, creating jobs, and economy that seems to be growing faster than anywhere else in the country. But what is Nottingham really like as a place to do business? Well, to find out more about that nitty-gritty, Richard Baker, the business editor at the Nottingham Post, is here. And Richard, overall, you know, how do we do compared with other cities around the country, for example?
Well, we could spout a load of facts and figures about this, but it's not really about that. It's about the world around us. And if you look around in a place like Nottingham, it doesn't actually do too badly at all. We've got big businesses like Boots and Experian. We've got specialist businesses at places like BioCity, where all the scientists work. And we've also got plenty of jobs in places like shops and restaurants. Those jobs are important for people who may not have the skills to hold down higher paid jobs, but they probably also want something that works for their lifestyle. So all told, we don't do too badly.
You mentioned skills there. What about this issue of education, which isn't great in Nottingham historically, is it? Is that a problem?
Education has been a challenge for Nottingham. The fact is that the schools don't deliver the results that people might like them to. Now, that's never going to be easily solved, but there are two sides to that story. Work is being done to try and improve things. Grades are getting a little bit better, but in the longer term, we also have to bear in mind that Nottingham's got a very big travel to work area where people come in from other parts of the area, other parts of the region to do jobs, so we're not short of talent.
And we see things like, you know, the city bikes that you can hire and the trams, for example. Do they actually make a difference business-wise?
They have the potential to make an enormous difference over the long term. The reason for that is the island we live in isn't getting any bigger, so the challenge all economies face, especially in cities, is how do they keep the economy on the move? The tram is an obvious answer to that, and though it's caused an awful lot of grief for people while it's being built in places like Chilwell and Beeston, the fact is in the long term it should make it easier for people to keep on coming and going to the jobs they need.
Okay, thanks very much, Richard, and let's just say thanks to our viewer over here.
We don't know how much these cost a month though.
Well, it's £1 a day, isn't it, I thought?
Now, you might have noticed a particularly keen viewer there, but it turns out this gatecrasher wanted to tell us about the virtues of the City Card bike scheme, apparently from £5 to £15 a month to hire. Bargain.
But this is the best thing that I've had.
Yeah, I still think you work for the council, mate.
No, I don't work for the council.
Well, that's it for now. We're heading for a nail-biting finish. Still 3-2, I think, Des, but I think our teams need us.
Yeah? As your pacemaker?
Yeah. I think I need to ramp it up a bit. Don't joke. Good happen.
We're going to play.
See ya. Watch. Oh, I'm in here. Oh, referee!